Hey there, and welcome to today's video. For today's video, we are finally going to be using all the new swatches that came out in a recent update from Sims. So in case you're not aware, The Sims updated over 1,000 different swatches. Now, I say 1,000 different swatches does not mean over 1,000 different items. I believe the ones that got new swatches were only around 150 items, and I believe this might actually come for more and more items as time goes on. It might not be something that they'll give us more swatches within the next few weeks, but even if it's only a yearly update, it's still a very nice update to get. Now, if you check out my Sims gallery, you'll probably be able to notice that I've been having a lot of fun with the new swatches. I've just been doing more building than I typically do, and I have been trying to build a 10k starter home, but these new swatches are just so nice that I want to decorate everything. Absolutely everything. So the house we're seeing today is definitely not a starter home. It is nothing close to a starter home either, but it is what I believe to be a very nice house. Now, this was one of those houses that I wanted the outside to look a certain way, and then I was going to bother with however the layout was going to look on the inside. So admittedly, there are some things that I wasn't the layout to turn out quite that way, but I think it worked out really well. This ended up being a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, although one of those bathrooms is a half bath. And the master bedroom is not as big as I would tend to have it in these type of houses, but I was really happy with how the end result ended up. Now, the whole point of this house was originally to use the new swatches, so of course I went ham on that. And I even added a bit of a garage, but there's not much use for it since, again, we don't really have cars in general. So what I did is I ended up putting some debug cars in the front, and the garage ended up being a bit of a workshop. I was debating adding some gym items to it as well, just to get a bit more fitness, but there is a pool on this lot, and at the end of the day, I figured that if I put that in there as well, it was just going to be way too cluttered, so I decided against it. So even though the point to a lot of this was to showcase some of the new swatches, that does not mean that I only used things that had new swatches. I very much made it a point to use anything that would make the house functional. But for example, in the kitchen, I definitely did use some of the new countertops, and boy oh boy, are those new wood tones just absolutely exquisite. And don't even get me started on the flooring. I think that's what had me the most excited about the update. Since the house I took some of the inspiration from had the front being mostly stone, no real picture of what the back of it looked like, I decided to add a back deck, and that's where I used some more of the wood tones. Honestly, any excuse I could have gotten to just use the wood tones, I took. But one of the other items that I was the most excited about are actually the curtains. So these curtains before are something that I probably would have considered to use only in kids' rooms before. It was very rare that I would use it anywhere else. But now that we finally have some plain swatches, I have had a lot of fun just using them absolutely everywhere. Now, admittedly, I do use them with move objects just so I can make it look a bit more like what it would look like if the windows were bigger. So you'll definitely see that throughout this house. I did it in the living room. I did it in the master bedroom where I put 2 of the open curtains just so it would have an open section there in the middle. And I also did it in most of the kids' rooms. I think it was just one of the kids' rooms that I didn't really use move objects where it wouldn't have been necessary. And I also used it in the upstairs living room. Yes, there are 2 living rooms in this, and I was thinking, well, maybe the upstairs one is more of an area for the kids. There's a computer there as well, so I figured why not. But you can definitely tell a lot of these rooms had a bit of color for inspiration, and most of that color came from the curtains. The rest of it was, if there's a rug that matches, or maybe a bed, then why not? There were even things like the science table that the kids can use, that got new colors as well. Even the books, I didn't notice that the clutter books actually had new swatches until I actually placed it down. I nearly squealed, I'm not gonna lie. Mainly because the first one that I saw was a cute pink and white one, and that just made me really excited because before it was very harsh and dark colors. So seeing a softer swatch definitely made me excited. What I would have to say is my favorite. There's a lot of favorites that I had in this new swatch update, but one of the things that I can appreciate the most is new swatches for landscaping. I don't think I'm the best at landscaping. I'd say I'm probably halfway decent at best, but just having some new flower colors that we can add around to make it look more than just, hey, here's some white, here's some yellow, maybe some orange. I was really excited about that, especially the dark purples and the dark blues. I feel like that can just open a whole new door of possibilities for buildings. And what can I say? I just really like that. I just really had a fun time all in all building this house. There was nothing in this house that I wasn't like, I would love to have this, I would like that, I would hope that a house like this exists in real life. I just had a lot of fun altogether. Even the backyard, I loved specifically because it does not have any green space that you would actually need to maintain. Though that's not a lot to say considering that there would be a lot to maintain in the front and the sides of the house. But I personally like the idea of a concrete jungle for a backyard as long as you're surrounded by green spaces somewhere. Just let someone else do the maintenance for that or hire a gardener for all that I care. I just don't think I have the best green thumb to realistically be able to maintain very luscious backyards. Besides that, I just really wanted to make this house feel like it was very lived in. I tried to add plants basically anywhere I could, but there were some other areas that I thought would look a little awkward if I added any more to it. The dining room is a very good example of that. I wanted to have the kitchen in that back corner, and I wanted to keep the windows where they were. So if I wanted to have a half bath somewhere in there, which you probably noticed all the way at the beginning of this video when I was struggling with the layout, that the dining room was just going to have to be there. The living room wasn't going to make any sense in that hallway, let's call it. So all in all, with the dining room being there already, I didn't think it was going to be the best idea to put maybe another console table, maybe some more decoration in the way. Even an island I debated putting, just because it felt like it was going to close up stuff a bit more. So the island I ended up putting within the kitchen itself, but it would be one of those islands that don't actually have a space for people to sit on. It would just be a plain island, mainly to use for more cooking. But I didn't want to add the seats to it, and I also wanted to use the island countertops, since those actually had some clutter items that I wanted to have on here. But that's just some of the insight on the decisions that I made for this house. All in all, Sims houses are there for you to do with them what you please. Heck, I have no issues if someone comes into the house and just changes all the furnishing that's in there. I actually even uploaded this same house just as a shell, no layout, just the colors on the outside and some of the landscaping, since I know some people don't like doing the landscaping. So if you like the house on the outside but don't like anything that I did on the inside, be my guest. Take the shell, for a lack of a better term, and make it your own. Honestly, it's yours to do with as you please. But anyways, we are getting close to the end of this video, so do let me know down below what you think of this one. Let me know what you'd like me to try out next, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great weekend!